Utie oha echi ponkno. Needs FM.
Meadows. Na uka bibi fa cathedral ho menim se be.
Oh, account.
Okay.
And to me we dey cathedral na account.
Na mepe asema atu ye nyina nyesa atu omo. Atu ye nyina. Asema Mark. Me say there be American. As a historian, I can say I am versed in history power, but I can't Ghana history, and a little bit of European history in the university. I be my dream to a certain level, especially being an ardent Nkrumahist and a follower of Nkrumah's ideology. Say a name it is a ensure frau and as a Kosombo dam, and yes a pile. But ye be ama ne aftermath resource no abeye di hu ya na me yura ho in the sense say Mark across the globe, and I mean the whole world, we have never had a president whose foresight and beliefs surpasses that of Kwame Nkrumah, whose selflessness and the commitment to work for his nation and the world at large. No American president has ever been so proactive and more foresighted like Kwame Nkrumah. Never in history. Or more proactiveness. No? The best they can do is to wage war and invade places that they are not supposed to invade. But Nkrumah's own was to sort for peace, development that will enhance the lives of people. And Nkrumah, in his wisdom, obesi akosombono. In this very book that I keep holding every time, the last 7-year development plan of Kwame Nkrumah, EMA Ghana, international experts, including those experts on African soil and outside India, near other areas, America, Germany, and Russia, and now compile ideas and the last 7-year development plan. Now, on page 203 of the last 7-year development plan, it talks about the Akosombo Dam. And if you look at what has been written in the book now concerning the Akosombo Dam now, the idea was to ensure na air trekono a man may curse unto us, but rather a blessing. The idea was to construct saddle dams, and I said dams are horror. Ewo Akosombo downstream, air trenko north no one. The best constructed dams are horror. In fact, Akose Dam is one of those. And indeed, by this time, government upon government, had it not been the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah, would have had several dams along the streamer in Siona Etnekono. And there were purposes for it. Indeed, baby and Crawfordities and Siona their situation would have been different because there would have been a very important and pragmatic location, or as a relocation for them, as Nkrumah did for Omo Dam before the first dynamite was blasted. Now, Yansha the Ankayadi in Sioni ya Anka Emma Yendu baby a yedri. Ebe say a joade ye twemu. Na menua nana into amrechiete ha. All can say. Ankesese ye de nhihye egu ho e betumi atwe nsuo ne bia gu reservoirs mo ne no manoma. Obi test ye. E refute ni claims no say the suggestion. But unfortunately my friend nana into amrechi ono ye PNC ni, right? And I can give him the credit because he doesn't have this book. Or perhaps he didn't do history. And he couldn't defend himself to also counter the guy who tested. Indeed, the plan was, like I said, to construct various dams along the street and also construct reservoirs. And then there was a plan for the reverse osmosis system. We will never have sat here one day in thinking that Akosombo Dam a very, because in Siona can air the other dams to generate electricity and also to ensure irrigation for farms. Na fensono sa reservoir nkakra no nsuo ni bi be ha kota tamu sa na yesa lay pipes tunnel ama na back to akoso the behind the dime said the beya say nsuo area ye be bie no te said ye bie we na asan afele dam no we nyina gu ho nkrata so ya nye. Indeed, Nkrumah had projected said the Mepe limestone, no, it would have had easy transport on the waterways. I think so. The iron ore at Sheni would have also had easy transport on the waterways. The NBC and say the Mepe limestone, no, have we explored? The iron ore at Sheni, no, have we explored? Nkrumah's time, and actually, iron ore kakrebi wa. Yeah, boy, now, why am I going back to history? I'm going back to history because the systems that could have been done to ensure unfortunately, and indeed, it is not late because the blueprint is there. You can go into it and ensure, say, the associate yes, see the type of acoustic dams no, along the runway, no, that is the stream, and we must have done it by now, and we can still do it. Interestingly, yes, I been another scenario at the time you constructed dam. Not those scenarios were not there. The Bagre Dam, which was constructed not too long ago, about 15 years ago, thereabout. You say ye beer, you know repercussions, no. Ye travel some and soon ye beer free Burkina about a fat young fool in our north for a sent two crop for you, yet a hold a young. Now, if you question your home. Of course, I bet to just say the technical people about VRE, about Deuro, about the fact to say microphone too. Mark, the reason, in my opinion, why we have not gotten casualties is the fact that now I believe that is true. Say omo Deuro ramp. So more Deuro, casualties will prevail, and so the people knowing in some parts of Nigeria, Baby do no bet me a hormone, but they didn't even visit say bedu baby or do any.
There many Christopher.
Yes. Until when we sit back and say, of course, me the last time I showed TV, but I have not seen anything militarily. I say rescue mission. I can. The ben who say a soldier for the Subonto SCC. I so I rescuing for more stranded. Mimi who be moved. The people themselves evacuated themselves. Per the message of Munya, and when they saw the river levels coming up, what is left of us as a nation is to do the needful by providing the necessary amenities they need. Mark, when you are brandy say, now or can say Riade Ahoroba, your boy, your brother, Honorable Okujeto Abaso. He has done a yeoman job. The same applies to Honorable Dafia Mekpone, other MPs almost morally support to help our brothers and sisters in the voter area, the affected areas. Mark, this is a call, a national call, a national duty for all of us. Anything that make me, I will not come back to another. That is why my suggestion was that the president should have been the first person going there to announce, to say, all Ghanaians should help. And he should have been the first person announcing a short code. Say, a bank went to me into Obia Nini Kakrawa. One city. Want to me a short code, some more pay, Sika Edia campaign. Right? And Crawford Woody alcohol to a yampia. It is alleged say a joke by Nanahima. But Nanahima Madina Hoyao. Madina now him when you about your humanity. I want to suppress my comments a little bit. But she spoke as if, say, when Addo was doing campaign, His Excellency, his first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, when he was doing his campaign, Anahima was not in Ghana. Now, that you will be promises, said, His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo Addo. Said Nana Danko Akufo Addo, His Excellency, the promises were the Beya Juma. And every individual in this country probably lives in a mansion. What you nudi? Now, I'm put the abetum in a little bit of digression. Any topic be out the clear say. His Excellency say, and you be an appointing on what Bema or your crown for.
You become once. And
you remember who later. Now, mean your mark. as a national duty to all of us, no, one thing I will ask of government, because they have used it as campaign mantra, is the fact say they build warehouses across the country. They should bring the food stuff that they have stored in those warehouses, you know, for us to go and support our brothers and sisters.
Needs FM.